Okay, in the last video where I put the brake line on, I lost some footage. I wanted to show you how to flare brake line. There's two different style of flares that I use. Number one is the single style flare. Looks like that. And here is the double flare, which looks like this. Now the majority of the time, and I mean 99.9% of the time, I use the single flare. A lot of people will tell you, oh, you have to use a double flare, you have to use a double flare. No, you don't. I've been doing this for years and years and years, and I've very rarely ever used a double flare. So what I want to do is show you how to do this. If you don't have a flaring tool, this is what one looks like. And then normally you get the dies for the double flare. And as you can see on here, I hope you can see, it has the different markings. Normally, if you're doing automotive, you'll use 1/4 inch or 3/16. 3/16 is mainly for cars. 1/4 inch is mainly for pickup trucks. I have seen it on Cadillacs. But in this case, we're doing 3/16. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your brake line. We're going to do the single flare first. You're going to want to take your brake line and you're going to find 3/16 on your tool. And you're going to probably have about that much sticking up. And if you need to make it a little wider flare, you can do that. But normally it's right about this length that you want. And then you're going to take your 1/2 inch wrench or whatever wrench that you're using, tighten both ends up really tight. And that way your line don't slip. And then you're going to take your other part of the tool and you're going to slip it over just like that. And you're going to take that point and go right down into your brake line, just like so. And what I like to do is go a little bit and back it off, because you will crack this stuff. This stuff here is a little more tolerant, this copper coated. But just back it up and you can go until it stops normally. Just like that. And you're going to take it out of there. You're going to take a good look at it. And you're going to see how it's flared. Now what you want to look for is to see if it's cracked. If it's cracked, it's no good. Cut it off and redo it. But that looks fairly decent. Like I said, if it's cracked, cut it off and redo it. And that's why you always make your brake line a little bit longer than what you need. Okay, now in this double flare, it's a little bit different. It's not real difficult, but it is a little bit different. Same thing, you're going to find your 3/16 hole and you're going to make that stick up out of there with the double flare, maybe a little higher, maybe about that high. And then you're going to tighten it down. And then you're going to find your dies find the 3/16, quarter, whatever you're using, and put right down, put that little pin right down in your brake line, just like so. There's nothing complicated about this. There's people that I know that's been doing this for years and they still can't flare a brake line. It's just patience and practice. That's all it is. Most of your brake line comes pre-flared in like I don't even know anymore, 6 or 10 foot sections. You can get them in 3 foot sections, 2 foot sections, whatever. But what I like to do is I like to run one continuous brake line from front to back to the left front wheel to the master cylinder. That way I know I got a good solid brake line that I don't have to go back through and splice. If I have to splice it, I'll use a ferrule fitting. Other than that, I don't normally splice too much. But what you're going to do is same thing. Keep backing it off. Tighten it, backing it off. And what you'll find is that really works. That works very well. Very well. And these things are a little bit of a bugger to get out of there. You almost need a screwdriver to get it out of there. But that's the flare, and it did all right. I'm not no professional with double flares, but I can do them. But as you can see, there's the double flare. It could maybe went a little bit further, maybe a little bigger. But that's all there really is to flaring. Like I said, it's practice. Now in this steel stuff that I showed in that video, this stuff will kink and everything else. It is hard to flare. And I didn't want to make this video very long, but there's one other thing that I wanted to show you that I didn't get to show you very well in that video, and that is the ferrule fitting. I'm going to go grab one and I'll be right back. Okay, this is the way they come in a little package. They're about, I think, $3, $2.50, $3, whatever. They're a little pricey, and this is what you get. You get 2 nuts and you get 2 ferrules, which is right there. And what you do is you take your nut and you slip that nut over the brake line, just like so. Then you take your ferrule, slip it over the brake line, just like so. And then you take this piece, slip it on there, and screw it down. And I'm not going to do this because this is actually a good one and I'm just using it on a as you can see, a small piece of brake line. But that's how you do that, and it's the same way on both sides, and it makes a nice seal. If you're patching the brake line, it works very well. So if you have any questions about brake lines, how to flare them or whatever, just put it down in the comments and I'll get right back to you and explain it, and if I have to, I'll make another video to show you. So, but I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.